Aloha,
No,
Kurt Roscoff.
no, wait, Marianne, quiet on the set. All right, we are live here. Hello, everybody. I'm Kurt Roskoff. I am a co-producer here with the World of Ability Podcast Network and co-hosting this show, Your World of Ability with Acts of Kindness. Our shows are 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific, 12 Mountain Time, and 2 Eastern. So here we go. This is the time of World of Ability with Acts of Kindness. Again, I'm Kurt Roskoff, and this is a little story that started back in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic in COVID time. I was looking at what I might want to do to help everybody have this programming at home, and we are staying safer at home. And I did a launch of World of Ability July 26, 2020. And in the midst of all that, I met somebody by the name of Emily Gomer, who joined in through uh, Anna Maria Bliven, who had run at the time Prosperity Pathways and Onward and Upward. And an exciting time. We were with Marcus Hart of Transform You Live. And it was a collective effort with Dariush Astari, our technology partner. And we had a lot of interest in, having live streaming. We worked with Transform You program, Transform You Live show, and working with Marcus Hart, we created the World of Ability Podcast Network and also the Transform You Media Network. So it was a collaboration, co-production, cooperation. And here we are today, 4 years later. Mariana Waikiki is here, author, app game developer, working, with finger puppets to tell the story of sign language interpretation and many other things. So we're going to have a great show here, folks. We're invited by another guest. And to lay the groundwork again, the inspiration of the show is Americans with Disabilities. And again, during COVID time, we connected to people all around the world. It's evolved to where this is about 2 billion people on the planet that come to us being humans with disabilities, people on Earth, people on the planet, our fellow inhabitants of the planet. So that is people with disabilities, 2 billion people. We have 8 billion people on the planet. This is about mitigating the relationship between people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability and bringing it together in all parts of life. So we're talking ministries, nonprofit opportunities, education, operation of our governments, and with our business community, jobs, employment, and with all the fun things we do in life. Marianne tells us all the time, go out and play. So we want to look at all forms. With myself, it was inspired through the sport of water skiing, adaptive water skiing. That took me into an adaptive sports and rec expo here in southeastern Wisconsin. We have over 60 partners to the Everybody Plays Adaptive Sports and Rec Expo, and that's 50 renditions of sports and rec activities, all masterfully coordinated and orchestrated in functional harmony with our diverse ability athletes, people with disabilities playing sports and enjoying recreation, therapeutic recreation all together. And with the disability community as a conversation starter, we get people thinking about their friends and people around them with intellectual and developmental disabilities, deaf community, blind community, people with physical disabilities, those living in chronic pain, everyone with a mental health diagnosis, those with the goal of substance use reduction. So that's the framework, the foundation that we build upon with this show. And we're out and around business networking, inviting people in networking groups, business networking groups, to come on here to share just what they do, who they are, what they do, their products and services, and their life journey in any way that they want to share. And, what's going on, a little news reporting of what's going on in their wheelhouse. So to start this off, we're going to have our partner here, Mariana Waikiki, here at our World of Ability with Acts of Kindness show. Marianne, what do you bring to us today? What is today's message from Acts of Kindness?
Well, continue to so go out and play. Thank you so much, Kurt Roscoff, for having me being here. I always meet amazing people out through the world, and invite guests all the time. So in the state of Hawaii, I got to visit and stay and play, and I ended up volunteering my services interpreting at the Unity Church of Hawaii for a beautiful deaf man named Scott Buchanan. And through that journey, I listened to Lucy Lynch and her perfect wave music with Nick's guitar sounds like whales and dolphins. And I asked the universe what my next purpose was. And the universe said, "You're going to write a series of children's sign language books with puppets." And I laughed. I said, "Okay." And it just started to happen. And all these amazing, talented people, we've worked together. And tears of joy. Still continue to working together because my first book was called Underwater Acts of Kindness. And it was written because I wanted to know where all this garbage was coming because I was sitting on a sailboat in Hawaii and it was circulating between Hawaii and California. And no one has done anything with animation movies with sign language characters and books, very limited with characters with a disability. And so it just kept coming to my mind. And if it comes to you, it's for yours to do. And grateful that I met Suzanne Sims. I know we have Dr. Larry Ward here on here. And Suzanne and I have been in communication and we're working on our fourth book. And so we got to still go out and play on the island of Oahu with persons with disabilities. I was a sign language interpreter there. People with veterans, taking them out to so go out and play, and all this amazing kind of amazing work. And so we wrote the second book, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, or anti-bullying. And we're finishing up the fourth book for climate change, Cool Acts of Kindness. Now they're Folkmanis puppets, and I see the vision, which I'm overcoming some eye surgery right now, so bear with me. Yes, I was the interpreter with the beautiful eyes, but as we get older, we have to have some sort of surgery to regroup. And I'm going through that right now. And I'm able to sign or share this with you as well. And excuse me. So we're writing the fourth book. It is done with Lucy Lynch and Lucy Lynch's music, and it will be completed. So I want to share off with Dr. Ward here because I met Dr. Ward because he opened up his attic at the Ward Rafters in Hawaii, the island of Oahu, and Dr. Ward is here. He sends out amazing newsletters about everything, heal your mind, body, and spirit and soul. What amazing colleague. So I want to give him the platform. I also, Kurt, introduced him to Matt Harline because he has a daughter with a disability with CP. And Matt Harline made a beautiful portrait of him. And again, through Happy Neighborhood Network marketing and whatever we do in our world, we're gifted with all this talents and we want to share the stories. So I'll let you take it away with the platform. I want to introduce you to Dr. Ward here. I love his newsletters. He has Ward Rafters. The musicians played up there. I got to perform. We got to do theater, kind of in a theater way. And Suzanne was there, and the musicians, Lucy and the Perfect Wave, and Nick's guitar sounds like whales and dolphins. And I got to play around and sign with this puppet as well. What a great opportunity in the island of Oahu. And I want to welcome Dr. Lawrence Ward here now, if I'm saying that correctly. And thank you so much for joining us. You have inspirational newsletters, and my site is coming back. And please share us your story. So, and I'm so excited for you to hear about Kurt. Kurt is amazing what we've done through this tenure in regards to COVID and uplifting everybody and doing good work. So, welcome. Dr. Lawrence Ward, aloha, I'm Marianne of Waikiki.
Aloha to all of you. As we say here in Hawaii, aloha kako, which actually means aloha to all of us. Yeah, it's quite a journey that you're describing there. Let me just kind of fill in some of the blanks there. The Ward's Rafters that Marianne was referring to, my mom first started that. And then I took over when my mom started to lose the ability to function in the way that she was used to functioning. And so I took over the care of her as well as Ward's Rafters. And we ran it for about 24 years, every single weekend. We have a 3-story house, and the third story was a huge 1,500 square foot, I guess you could call it as a theater loft. And we could seat about 100 people. We had a stage and a sound system and lighting and grand piano and a drum set and amplifiers and the whole bit. So musicians just show up and bring the instrument. That's all I had to do. So we had everything from classical to jazz to improvisational comedy to theater. Uh, People would contact us from around the world saying, hey, we heard about you, even though we never publicly announced anything. It was strictly private invitations through emails. And earlier than that was word of mouth. And we're on our way to Japan. Can we book a gig over there or something like that? And so we'd have world-class performers at our place. And we were described as the biggest kept secret in Kaimuki, which is the area of Honolulu that we live in. But several years before COVID came, my mom had passed away, and the house ownership, the trust, it was in a trust. The trust dissolved upon my mom's death, and my brother and I became co-owners. But he had not been living here since the early 70s, and so he's in Texas now. He demanded I buy him out, so I had to take out a mortgage in order to do that, and that was the impetus for closing down Ward's Rafters. But we have great memories, and I still get messages on a regular basis saying, I wish we still had that going on. We could do that, some more. My personal background as a naturopathic doctor, I grew up in Europe, actually, 15 years over there, and came back to America as a stranger in my own land because I had no connection with the culture or anything about the America that I had left as a 1-year-old baby. So it took some getting used to, but I had always been interested in a holistic approach to life. And because my mom's dad, my grandpa, lived with us in Prague for a few years, and he was, besides an early bird, which are the people that built and flew their own airplanes, just a couple years after the Wright brothers, was also an inventor and what I called one of the original health nuts. He would give me, he gave me a dictionary, a medical dictionary on health matters. And I swear there was more annotated by his, writing in the margins and the sides. There was more annotation than was actual text in the book. And he would always say, this is wrong. That's, you shouldn't listen to that. This, and make corrections and so on. So that was the bug that was planted in awareness that later became the seeds for me enrolling at the naturopathic school in Portland, Oregon, and obtaining my degree in naturopathic medicine, and then opening up my private practice. But all along, there was this evolution of this holistic approach to health and life. And after I retired from naturopathic medicine, I decided what I've observed was a lot of people would come to me. Well, not a lot, but oftentimes people would come to me for whatever healing sessions that they were, issues that we're dealing with. And I would do a diagnosis, help them say, okay, here's your program. This is what you need to do, and it should help you get well again. And then a few weeks later, they come back for a follow-up. And I'd ask them, well, how's it going? What are you doing? And they say, oh, I didn't do anything. And I say, how come? I don't know. And so I started digging, and it would turn out that they had hidden issues, beliefs that were keeping them from doing the things that they knew would help them get well. A classic example, especially with workman's compensation cases where somebody gets injured on the job, for example. I remember one patient who came to me and said, after several weeks of frustration on my part, I said, this should be working. How come it's not working? He said, well, I really enjoy getting paid and not having to work. And that was he was literally self-sabotaging her healing journey. And so I had to deal with that. And I saw other cases of people, like someone came to me once with, it'd been pronounced with terminal cancer, given just a couple months to live. He was a actually well-known writer. And the doctor advised them, just conserve your energy, don't do anything strenuous, take it easy so you can last as long as you can. And the man says, well, if I'm going to die in a couple of months, I want to spend it doing what I love to do the most. And he went to work. He started a diary. And he finally passed away about 20 years later. So the message there to me was that the idea of a terminal cancer pronouncement is only an idea. And just like someone can come up with a terminal cancer pronouncement, you can also come up with a terminal cancer relapse or undoing. Just as you can create a belief, you can also undo a belief. And that got me going into a second career of training to be a coach, coaching people in digging up, feeling, discovering their hidden beliefs, their what I call the blind spots in their lives that cause them to avoid going towards what they want and instead ending up going towards what they don't want. And in talking with people and dealing with people, I've discovered again and again that the majority of time people spend thinking about what they don't want. Now, I just found out about this organization a few hours ago when, what's their name? Emily Gomer sent me the link. And so, so that's the name of the network, because I had no idea who you guys were or what you were about. So I quickly got online and finally found some YouTube channels that had recordings of previous podcasts. So when I started coaching people, one of the first coaches, a lady who was actually on our email list, the Wards Rafters list, for that I'd send out invitations to, contacted me and says, I have a 9-year-old daughter who's been diagnosed with autism. She's been acting out in class, and she's been kicked out of her classroom, and she's in trouble, and we need your help. And she had reached out to me because she knew that I had my own daughter with cerebral palsy, quadriplegic, nonverbal, who, by the way, just celebrated her 33rd birthday yesterday. So we had a great celebration at the daycare that she spends the day in, and then at home when I brought her home, and then when I took her over to her mom's place, she had a third celebration of her birthday. So she was really stoked about that. But so I said, okay, bring your daughter in. So I started talking with this girl, and I realized that there's a spirit here. There's a spunky little girl, third grader, 9-year-old, and there's something hidden here that nobody's discerned before. So I says, you know what? How about if we take away that label? How about if we just take it away? Like you're not autistic. Would that be okay? And she said, yeah, okay. So we started digging in, and I started leading her through exercises and finding what lights her up, what her motivations are, and finding out what her fears are, and digging up her underlying beliefs. And pretty soon she started playing with the exercise, and then she'd come back the next session. We were meeting like weekly, and she would be all excited and enthusiastic about what she's discovering about herself. And we worked for about 3 months. And last I heard, I spoke with the mom, or communicated with her actually by email, about earlier this year. And her daughter is a thriving 5th grader, doing great in class, near the top of her class, and no more issues, no more nothing, and certainly no more autism. So, which brings me to another realization, and that is implied by the very name of this podcast. I have discovered that there is no such thing as disability. And to me, it is a very misleading term that does more harm than it helps. And the reason I say that is because you've heard a term, whatever you pay attention to is what you are moving towards. Or some people say what you're thinking about, you attract. What you place most of your attention on, or the energy of your creativity, is what you actually bring about and create. And so I never use the term disability, because I want me and those that I speak with to think in terms of abilities, not disabilities. There's no such thing as a disability. There's only abilities, and we all have different abilities in different manners, different ways. Just like in the universe, there's no such thing as darkness. There's only how much light there is. If there's a lot of light, we say it's bright. If there's a little light, we say it's dark, but it's still only a description of how much light. And the same thing with heat. There's no such thing as cold. There's only how much heat there is. If there's a lot of heat, we say it's hot. If there's a little heat, we say it's cold. But it's still only talking about heat. It's not there's no such thing as cold. There's no such thing as darkness. And the same thing can be applied to, there's no such thing as anger or hatred. There's only how much love there is. If there's lots of love, then we feel joyful, we feel engaged, we feel integrated, we feel in love. And if there's less love, then we may see there's irritation or anger. Or if there's no love at all, we may say there's a total apathy. But it's still a description of how much love there is. And if we accept the holistic viewpoint that there really is there's only love and light, loving light, and everything else is illusion, then it simplifies everything how we look at life. Because then we can keep our focus on what we know is true and keep ourselves from focusing on what we realize is not true, is only an illusion that is created by this illusion of self separate from others, rather than the holistic view of we are all part of one whole. That's what holistic means. And I often remind people that the word health and the word healing and heal all have the same root. If you look up the etymology, you'll see it all comes from the root of to be whole. So someone who is healthy is a whole person. And intuitively, we can realize that too. For example, when you cut your hand, and how does it heal? Well, the wound becomes whole again. It comes together. And there's another term that is also related and directly derived from the word whole, and that is the word holy. A person who is holy is a person who's just a bit more whole than the average person, as if there is such a thing. There is no average person either. There's just unique aspects of one whole, depending on which aspect of the whole you view or integrate or interact with. So my message is one of wholeness, of healing, and a message of possibility. And that we, as beings who are not separate from the whole, and therefore one with the universe, or one with nature, or one with the Great Spirit, or one with God, those are just all words. And every word is just a symbol, a representation of some thought, which means that every thought that we think has no reality to it either. It's just a representation of some experience. When you say the word apple and someone else says the word apple, you assume that you're talking about the same thing, but you're not. When I say the word apple, I'm thinking of all the experiences I've had of my entire life and all my lifetimes and life, experiences that have to do with this thing called the apple. And somebody else has totally different experiences with the same word. There's no commonality there. We pretend that we're talking about the same thing, but we're not. And so the only possible conclusion from all of this is that if you want to be whole, you have to let go of anything that separates you. And that means thinking. And any thought that you identify with, we call a belief. And so beliefs are just representations that you identify with, but you are not a representation. Just like you take a map of a city, no matter how detailed that map is, it's never going to be the actual city. It's just a representation. And we think that our thoughts are real, but they're only representations, and no representation is ever the thing that it represents. When we keep that in mind, then the only thing for us to do, if we want to be true to ourselves, to our true selves, we have to learn to be present. And to be present, we need to learn how to be still. If you're religious, there's a quote in the Bible that says, "Be still and know the truth." That's the recipe. And it's the biggest challenge that every human being ever faces, including myself. And that's the big, big thing that I help people with, helping them be still. Because when you look at your mind, you listen to your mind, you notice there's a constant chatter, a yammering, thinking about this, thinking about that, afraid of that, worried about this, concerned about that. What's for lunch? What's this? Isn't that pretty? Isn't that ugly? Oh, I couldn't. That's not, I'm not enough. There isn't enough. I don't belong. Blah, 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 blah. 90% of the time, 99% of the time, there's yammering going on. Even when we're sleeping, in our dreams, we're yammering. There's hardly ever a moment when there's not yammering going on. And that means your attention is fully on representations, not on your true self. So if you want to bring about healing, the first step is to become present. And how do you become present? Well, there are certain things that grab your attention, and we can use that to our advantage. There's one thing, above all, that grabs our attention more than anything else, and that is your breath. Why? Well, because you can go without food for a month or more. You would survive. You can go without water for a week or two. You'd survive. But without a breath, we know that within 7 minutes, your brain is dead. Or certainly dying. Okay? I think the Champion freediver can hold his breath for maybe a little over 6 minutes. That's about it. That's right at the edge of being dead. Most people are lucky if they hold their breath for 1 minute. So you learn to focus on breathing. You put your attention fully on your breath. And if a thought comes by, you say, not now. Bring your attention back to breath. And there's literally hundreds of methods of breath. If you go to any kind of yoga training, put that all aside. It doesn't matter. Just do a basic breath. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Without trying to hold it, without trying to force it, and make sure that you're breathing like you breathed when you were a baby. If you watch a baby breathing, especially when they're on their back, what do you see? You see the belly going up and down, belly up and down, yeah? Because the breath goes into the lungs expand, and they push down. The diaphragm was actually pushing down into the guts, and that pushing into the guts is what makes the belly go up. And then the reverse, the belly goes down, breath goes out of the lungs, yeah? So that means your abdomen is relaxed. Why is that important? Because the abdomen is one of the main places where we hold our stress, along with the shoulders and the jaws, and really it could be anywhere in the body. But those are the most common places, especially the abdomen, right? Your solar plexus area and around your belly button, but especially solar plexus, the place of our sense of identity, our inner power. We tend to hold down and protect ourselves because we don't feel safe. And so the first step towards becoming present is to practice breathing fully with your belly so that you can feel safe. And when you feel safe, then you can open up, you can be vulnerable. And when you open up and vulnerable, you allow growth to happen. Because as long as you're holding on in a shell around yourself, you cannot grow. You're holding yourself back. At least the self that you believe you are with your thoughts and your beliefs. This limited bag of flesh and bone that you've convinced yourself is who you are. But if you've ever experienced not thinking for a moment, and I bet that everyone in this audience has had that experience, those moments of overwhelming beauty where you look at a sunset and you go, wow. Or the moments of overwhelming love where your heart just opens up and you just feel this flood of love flowing through you. You notice that in those moments, you forget who you are. There's no thinking. There's not even any feel. There's just a feeling of love, nothing else. Yeah. No other irritation or limitation. Also, for those of us who are artistically inclined, like I'm also a musician, and there have been moments too rare to my liking, but when I play, one of my instruments is the classical guitar or the Middle Eastern oud, and I may play an improvisation and then go, wow, where did that come from? It's like this creative flow came through me and I wasn't even there. I was just observing. Those are the moments of being present. And that is what you are aspiring to reach as an experience. Interesting, the word aspire literally means to breathe towards, aspire, or to lead your spirit towards, yeah. So breathing is the first step to becoming present. And you just feel the breath filling up, feeling. And then you put your attention on your body and feel whatever feelings are there to be felt without thinking about them, without analyzing them, without judging them, without describing them, without naming them. Because there's this strong urge, you got to name everything that you're experiencing. And the moment you name it, you just put a limiting description on it. You put a label on it. Well, what is a label? Well, it's just a enclosed vehicle, right? It's a limit, because beyond that label, it's no longer that thought. It's no longer that belief. It's something else, right? So you know there's a limit. And you limit yourself every time you label something. So training yourself to be aware of your breath as it expands, feeling every feeling in your body. Wiggle your toes. Make sure you feel the middle toe in your foot that's always forgotten. Wiggle your fingers. Notice the pressure on your butt as you're sitting in your chair. Notice the gentle breeze that touches your cheek or your hair. Yeah. And then besides feeling, notice what's in your observing, your visual field, your hearing, all of your senses. But again, without putting a label, resist that temptation to label it. Just learn to feel whatever's there to feel, to see whatever's there to see, hear whatever's there to see, taste, smell, using all your senses. When you achieve that state of being present, you notice something very profound happen. All that jabbering is gone. There's no sound of thoughts and the memories popping in and out. There's just silence. And then you hear something that most of us only hear very rarely, and that is the voice of inspiration, of intuition. And that is your true self revealing itself to yourself. Your true self revealing itself to your little self as the observer. And now your task is to become identified with your true self and not with those millions of thoughts that tend to rule you. And that's the moment when you start to assume the pilot seat, your throne. And you relegate the mind, where all your thoughts and beliefs and imagery and memories are stored, you relegate that to the role of the navigator. The way you create things is you, through inspiration, intuition, come up with what is to be, your preferred experience. And then you give that, what is to be, to your mind, which is an aspect of you. It's not separate from you. It's just an aspect of you. And say, okay, mind, make it so. And mind's job is then to figure out how to take the unformed inspiration and form it into some preferred experience in life. And that, in a nutshell, is the process of creation. You know, in the beginning, God, one universe, floating in eternity, formless, meaning no experience, no thoughts, because thoughts are formed something, right? No feelings. Could be regarded as kind of boring. And you want to have experience. So, what do? You say, let there be light. Let there be a world. Let us separate the heavens from the earth. Let there be creatures and plants and people and et cetera, et cetera. And I said, let's pretend as that being there, that human, that I forget who I am. Because otherwise, how can you have an authentic experience? Yeah. So you temporarily forget who you are. And he says, okay, I'm a limited human being, bag of flesh and bones, and I'm having dramas and experiences in life, and difficulties and challenges and problems to overcome, et cetera, et cetera. Until you start to waken up. And then you start to remember who you are. And in that process, you discover you can heal. Because that process of discovering who you are is healing, is becoming more whole. And that's where you reach out to seemingly others and recognize, oh, that's me over there. And as I heal myself, I heal the other, and we become more whole, more holy. So that is the core of the message that I share with those who are willing and able and open to that message. And those that resonate come to me and work with me, and we both move towards healing. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ward.
Mm-hmm.
What an honor to have you come on the World of Ability today and meet Kurt Roskoff too as well. Many of us, I'm in Mexico now. And so sorry for the latent stuff, but you're amazing. And I was there And what an opportunity too, as well, to bring in the musicians and to send our messages out to each other. I learned so much more
Mhm.
about myself. I got to interpret for a beautiful deaf man for over a decade, and how we can, bring these books in together with the sign language characters, especially with Lucy and her beautiful voice, where we got to perform it. And Suzanne Sims. Suzanne Sims and I are writing the fourth book. And
Yeah.
I'm real honored that, it's a lot of work. Um, it's tears of joy that people still want to work with you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's awesome. And it was a great opportunity to visit Hawaii, stay in Hawaii, and to learn so much over there too, especially with the Unity Church of Hawaii. I
Mhm.
did. I loved it. I loved it. I got to learn a little bit more, and I got to share it with Kurt Raskoff, the World of Ability, and everybody as well. So um I can't thank you enough for being a presenter here to share this, and especially for Kurt and Sue. They're amazing people who continue to have this podcast every week. And, they have a job and a life too. They're educators too, but to hear a different perspective from everybody, and to know what we've all done to come together. And it's amazing. And so again, through our networks of Happy Neighborhood projects, Transforming Media and all that, we can shine the light, and let Kurt take it away, and we'll move forward from there. We want you back on this beautiful journey. And again, there's a picture of us on the website that I will never forget.
Mhm.
And thank you so much. And you know, tears of joy. I remember signing in front of them, everybody, and showing the whales and the dolphins and all that. And Scott, I worked for a sign language. Scott was deaf, and for him to hear and to move forward, I'm sounding like a tears of joy right now, because it is. And we've all moved forward too. It was. You can look at the pictures and go from there. And I just really want to bring him an animation movie someday, some Dr. Ward. So we are the good news. And again, it's tears of joy, and we will bring that up upon Aloha. I am Marian of Waikiki. I am in Mexico now, recovering from eye surgery. So thank you so much, Dr. Ward. And I'm so really glad that you got to connect with Kurt Roskoff. He's an
Mhm.
amazing, powerful person that does an amazing work in Aloha.
Yeah, and I see Emily's there too, but hardly see her face. She's kind of in the darkness there. Just curious to see who was it that sent me the invitation.
Yeah. How long have you been doing what you've been doing, Dr. Ward?
Say again?
How long have you been doing what you've been doing? I mean, I
Oh,
was
well, the coaching, I guess the seeds were first planted in the early 1970s when I spent a year and a half every day with the Course in Miracles. And before that, I was always a dreamer, always wondering about nature of people and animals. I always had a connection with people. Also, during that time in the early 1970s, I had a experience that really anchored everything. I was going to college at the time. I think I was about 19, and I came home one day, um, later afternoon. Nobody was home. I was living on the second floor of the home that I'm in now. And I'm walking down the darkened corridor. All the doors are closed. And I come to the end of the corridor, start reaching out for the doorknob to open the door to my bedroom. But before I could touch it, the doorknob vanished. It just disappeared. And then the door disappeared, and the house around me disappeared, and then the world around me disappeared, and then my own body disappeared. And I found myself floating in space, uh, looking at what I could discern as stars and galaxies all around me, as if I was looking through eyes, but knowing there were no eyes to look through. It was a very strange sense of knowing. And then I realized I experienced the most profound silence and quiet beyond anything I could imagine. There was not a thought, there was not a feeling, there was not a sound, there was nothing. Just most absolute, profound, absolute silence. And as I'm floating there, I realize, oh, time doesn't exist. Time only seems to exist when the mind is in motion. And then I started to perceive these faintest of threads coming out from below my looking, where the heart would have been if there was a body. And it was sort of like, is there a thread or not? It was just the faintest of on and off shimmering light blue violet light color. And I would follow the threads, and oh, each one's going to a different star and different galaxy. And I realized I was at the center of the entire universe. And then I realized, oh, I know everything there is to know. From the beginning of time to the end of time, from the beginning of the universe to the end of the universe, I knew everything there was know. I wasn't thinking. There was no thought. It was a knowing. And so I'm flowing there in this little eternity. And then from somewhere below, as if there is a below, I perceived a bubble floating up towards eye level. And I had the sense that it's a thought bubble. And it came up here, and then it burst open, and a thought flooded my mind saying, oh, what's happening? And instantly I was there about to open the door. So that was I went in and sat for over an hour just trying to digest what I just experienced. But that was the first seed of that's who I am. And the following decades has been a process of rediscovering, remembering who I am. And it's led me to where I am right now. So those are some of the key things that got me going on this process here. Yeah.
So, Kurt,
Is
are you
Kurt
there?
still with us here?
Kurt, are you still there? Do you have any questions, comments?
No, maybe he went off to lunch.
No, I'm working on activating my
I'm
camera.
here. Hi, aloha again. I'm here. I just had some reconstructive stuff that's happening. So, Dr. Ward, thank you.
We're just seeing if Kurt had any comments or questions here first, Marianne.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Ward. What an honor for you to
Thank you.
shine the light. And I just want to highlight with you too. I went to Hawaii, visited, I stayed, and to do the most amazing things, or not, or people do shine the light. And what an opportunity it was, and for you to share this also too with Kurt and Emily, and to be in this podcast is such an honor, and such an honor with a colleague to do this for me. So thank you very much, Dr. Ward, and
You are
all that
welcome.
you've done. And when you look, Kurt, and you guys look on the website, it was a long time ago, but Lucy and Suzanne and I, we had a lot of fun and got to so go out and play on that attic up there. And yeah, so thank you so much. And Shine Light, you always continue to educate us. We're always continuing learning. And I'll let Kurt take it away. He's an amazing person too. Aloha, I'm Marianne of Waikiki, because I got to do some amazing things. So Kurt, go ahead.
Kurt, can you come back, please? Before Marianne interrupted.
Emily. Oh my gosh, Emily.
I can't hear you.
Okay, do you have any questions while waiting for your camera? We can hear you.
Oh,
We
looks
did.
like no, like, oh, now he's coming back.
So Emily, how are you doing?
Good. I just want to know if you had any questions, comments for Dr. Ward.
Well, Emily, I want to start with you. How are you doing, Emily?
I already asked about a couple of questions, Kurt.
Are you okay, Emily?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. So Emily, what do you think of Dr. Ward here?
Think it's awesome. Can you please ask your questions, though?
Okay, yeah, I'll ask Dr. Ward a question. We have our first.
Oh, looks like he froze up.
So I hope that Leon
Hi,
joins
Rudy.
us too as well. I think I'll hope that Leon joins us as well. And
Yeah,
Dr. Ward, you're welcome to
Marianne.
come back.
Marianne,
Dr. Ward,
Rudy,
you're
Rudy
welcome
is
to.
here. Rudy is here
Okay.
too.
Everybody.
Uh,
Kurt, can you ask your question since? Never mind.
Well,
Hi,
How
Rudy.
so
about we talk about we want to welcome Rudy into this new venue. This is the new thing, Emily. And
Rudy has an event.
we have our next guest speaker here. Emily,
right,
this is
well,
how we
if
talk
there's
about
Yeah,
any
news.
more
Rudy
questions,
Rudy has an event coming up this evening that he was
Yeah.
going to talk about.
all right. Well, let me just say aloha to you all, and thanks for having me. It's
You know
wonderful
what,
chatting.
Dr. Ward, it
Mhm.
was such an honor. And thank you so much for all the work that we have done at Aloha. And you sent amazing messages to everybody to listen
Thank
to
you.
the world. Mahalo. Mahalo.
All
And
right.
I know, yes, as well, too. Thank
All
you.
right. Aloha.
Rudy,
Howdy. How's it going, Emily? How's it going, Marianne?
how are
Good.
you?
Good.
Well,
Doing well.
Rudy, welcome and aloha. And there you go. So it's a welcoming community. And so what?
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's great to be here. I had some time. Figured to say hello. Yeah, so I have a really cool event coming up. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It'll be for half an hour.
We're not-
And it is an event.
Dr. Ward is amazing.
Do what? Okay. Anyway, yeah, I have an event coming up at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is centered around financial literacy for families with neurodivergent loved ones, as well as neurodivergent entrepreneurs. I'm really stoked about it. Only going to be for half an hour. Going to be a little quick one. The things we're going to go over some of the basics of financial literacy. We're going to talk a little bit about how it can impact families with neurodivergent loved ones. Also, myself being a neurodivergent entrepreneur, I'm going to speak about some of the unique challenges we face being neurodivergent when it comes to money. And yeah, I'm really excited to be doing that event this evening with a very dear friend of mine. Her name's Nancy Cotton. She's out of Texas. She's absolutely incredible and very passionate about the neurodivergent community as well. So yeah, we're going to be doing that together.
So is this only gonna be once a while, or are you gonna have it as more of a regular, like once a month or
It's
whatever?
gonna be.
kind of thing?
I feel like it's going to be fairly frequent. The last one happened was in July. We're doing one right now. Let me grab, and I'll grab the Eventbrite link for it, and I'll throw
Okay.
that.
I didn't know
in the
how
chat.
often you guys were gonna have it. I know because I know it's been a while since you guys did one. So
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah. I will definitely grab the Eventbrite link. I'll throw that in the chat for you guys. And yeah, we've been getting quite a few registrations, which is always good. Free event, really good information. It's going to be very quick and to the point. And yeah, it's going to be very exciting. I really believe financial literacy is one of the most important things we can teach. We unfortunately don't teach it nearly enough in schools, and we don't talk about it as a culture either. So there's many aspects of that I could talk about, because I'd be doing that all day if I did. But yeah, it's going to be a solid event, and we're going to pour a lot of heart into it.
Right. Well, how's business been going lately? How's
Things
life in
been
general?
going good. Things been going good. I now have 3 businesses. It's funny how that
3.
works.
Oh,
When things come in front of you, the universe puts something in front of you. It's usually there for a reason. I found that out quite often in my life. If something's put in front of me, there's almost always a reason for it, and I always say yes because I think when opportunity presents itself, sometimes you just got to reach out and take it. And my second business, I help. In addition to my first business, that's financial literacy. My second business is centered around small business empowerment and resources. I can help with two powerful business tools. The first one being I can assist with research and development tax credits. It's nice to be able to help business owner find some money. And the second of which is I can help with a very unique health benefit solution. And the way that works is if a company has 10 or more full-time W-2 employees, it can be a net savings to the employer as well as a net pay raise to the employees. That's pretty powerful because, oh, look, now they'll have some health benefits. They'll have a little more in their paychecks. The employer will have some money that they can reinvest into their business and into their employees. So that's could be quite powerful, quite impactful. My third business I just got into, I got into the health and wellness space because I realized that all this money talk is awesome, but if we don't have our health, that makes things a lot harder. So I partnered with the World Authority in the health and wellness industry, and we're working with a breakthrough technology to help people be healthier at a cellular level. Because that old saying goes, health is wealth is 100% true. So I'm doing that too.
So, Garrett, do you have any questions, comments? Or Rudy, while he's here? Or not at the moment. But thank you for joining us today, Rudy.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. I will hopefully see you guys there, and I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, how are your kitties keeping you in line?
Oh yeah, I'm genuinely surprised that they're not in here right now, because usually when I'm on Zoom, they'll be like, "Oh look, Dad's on a Zoom meeting. Let's jump on the desk and run around and cause all sorts of havoc." And
Want to be
they're
on
just,
camera too?
oh, that's happened more times than I can count. Yeah, that it's a very common occurrence. Yeah, if they're not on the desk, I'm thinking they're probably sleeping or they're getting into trouble in the other rooms. It's quite amusing actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what kind of inspired you to, well, I think I might already sort of know the answer to this question. But what sort of kind of inspired you to get into finance or like start the wrestling with Nancy? Like how did
Yeah,
this get started?
it's interesting getting into the financial services industry. I had no real intention of it. When I lost my dream job during the pandemic, I had some time to think about what I wanted to do in my life, and I was kind of like saying, okay, well, who am I? What do I actually want to do in the world? I know I'm gonna have to go back to work eventually. So what am I supposed to do? I didn't really want to do a 9 to 5 again because I was like, not very fulfilling for me. So I joined a bunch of networking events. I was going to see what people were doing. I said, okay, the world's very different now. Let's see what people are up to. So I joined a bunch of networking events all across I guess you could say all across the country. And I met some really cool people, many, many different industries. And what ended up happening is a very bubbly and vivacious woman came into my sphere, and we had a 5-minute one-on-one, and she told me she teaches people how money works. And that intrigued me because that was very different than everything else I'd heard. And I was like, it's interesting. We should talk. I'm kind of curious about that. And we started talking. We became best friends very, very quickly. And she taught me a lot about me as well, which I didn't expect. That was awesome. And I realized that this could be something really important, something impactful. So what ended up happening is I got an education I didn't think I needed, which it blew my mind. And it made me really mad because I realized, well, wait, shouldn't I have learned this stuff in school? Well, I didn't. I learned long division. I have yet to use it. I learned algebra. I have yet to use that. I learned ancient Greek history. That was interesting. I have yet to use that. I did use geometry a while back though to figure out the volume of a cylinder to figure out how many gallons of water my well held. That was useful. Pi radius squared times height. Yay! I actually used that, but I was very intrigued by the impact, because I felt very empowered after that conversation I had. I said, "Wow, this is a big deal." I feel like I just learned so much in such a short time that I could actually use in my future. This is really cool. And I started thinking, well, I can get paid for this? Like, I can get paid to help people like this? Like, this is interesting. I need to know more about this, because it really aligned with who I am as a person and what I want to accomplish. I want to have a generational impact in people's lives, not just transactional. Here, buy a car, buy a truck, buy a cell phone, yada yada yada. I want to do something more meaningful than that. And I realized, well, if I help somebody's grandfather secure their retirement, that means their son's going to be okay, or their daughter's going to be okay, and their grandkids are going to be okay. And what, the next 100, 150 years, that family might just be okay, or better than that even. That's impact that will outlast me. And when that kind of like started swirling in my head, it really went from my head to my heart. And I said, oh my God, this is a really big thing. I can help people the way I've always wanted to, and it can make a difference in people's lives that's truly meaningful. And oh, look, I get paid for it too. That's kind of cool. And I fell in love. I knew this was what I was supposed to do with my life. And I tell people this all the time, that losing my dream job was the best thing to ever happen to me. And it truly was, because it allowed me to expand my vision a little bit. It allowed me to dream. It allowed me to really assess, okay, what do I want to do in my life? Who do I want to become? And it was just the coolest thing, because I really started thinking about, oh, wow, I can make a difference in the world. Even though I'm living in a town of, 10,000 people, I can talk to 100 million people. That's kind of cool. I can have the impact I've always wanted to have, because this little thing called the internet, and networking events and Zooms and podcasts and events and all this stuff. And then I end up meeting great people like Nancy, awesome woman. She lives out of Texas, very passionate about the neurodivergent community. And it's like, hey, I'm neurodivergent too.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do. Tell me about that. Tell me about that. And we became best friends very quickly. I said, wow, so you're like an autism advocate also. That's awesome. I teach financial literacy. I have autism too. Let's see how we can weave those together, because I realized in my own experiences that I had an interesting relationship to money when I was growing up. And I didn't understand that about me until rather recently. And I realized, wait a minute, I bet people that are neurodivergent like me might be having the same challenges, the same unique aspects of their financial life. And oh, look, I've just found a partner that we could both talk about it. Oh, this is awesome. And we became best friends very quickly, and we realized that we could do something really cool together. And as a Nancy, we're gonna do some really cool stuff. Let's host some events together. Let's partner up and make a difference. And I'm so excited, because she's the kind of person that I really was, in a way, looking forward to spread the message farther to my specific demographic, because then we can speak in our own ways and be able to help people that need help the most, but they don't necessarily know where to turn for it. So, I mean, yeah, they could talk to financial people, but they might not necessarily understand how our brains are wired a little bit differently. We have unique challenges. We have unique aspects of ourselves that can make our financial journeys a little bit different. And to have, people like Nancy and myself speaking to that community, to that demographic, I feel like will cause a lot of really positive shifts in not just communities, but in mindsets and hearts. In on the other end of it, the tactical side of it is people like us. We can have more hope for our financial futures, because we have people that understand how our brains work, and we can be spoken to in a way that resonates with us, so we can make better decisions for our futures. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah. yeah, I'm sure it could help a lot of people.
Yeah, I wish I had somebody talking to me 20 years ago the way I talk to people, because I think that's the thing too. It's like we don't know we can have advocates in our lives, and that's the thing. It's like if I knew 20 years ago, what I know now, I'd be talking to all my friends in high school, be like, guys, we're going to be graduating high school. We got to get some stuff taken care of. But I figure the next best thing is doing what I'm doing right now and being able to say, hey guys, here's some things I wish I learned 20 years ago. I'm gonna teach you guys. And start that could start people on the path to not just financial independence, because that's one part of it. Ugh, excuse me. But the other part of that is inner peace. Like, oh man, things are actually gonna be okay. Yeah. And then people can go through life with a sense of calm and comfort and empowerment, understanding, oh, because I set everything up right, we're going to be okay. We have everything taken care of. If life throws us a curveball, we're ready for it, because they spent a little bit of time getting a little bit of knowledge and empowerment and having a few little discussions with somebody like myself or Nancy or anybody else I have, because I have several people doing this with me. That, oh, now I know what to do. Yeah, that's why we're here. Literally what we do. So that honestly, that is the most exciting part of it. It really is, because that's what I really strive to give people in their lives, is to say, hey, I have some important things we need to know that I wish I knew, but now I can teach you, because now I was taught. And it's being able to have that level of lasting impact that honestly it fuels my day, to where I can have go to 5 networking events in a day, or have a day where I start at 8 and I end at 8 and I say, you know what, that was a really good day. I sleep well at night. I have some long days, but I'm so grateful to be able to get to do that and be able to put my voice out there, pour my heart out there, saying, hey, by the way, I have some things we all need to know that I wish I knew, wish my parents knew, but I'm here for you. And I tell people that all the time, I'm here for you. There's no judgment. I've probably been where you've been anyway, so it's all good. I can relate. And it's giving people a sense of comfort. And I think that's probably one of the best things about this, is it's helping people understand that where they're at's okay. Well, let's get you to where you really want to go. But it starts with education first. So that's why I do a lot of what I do. And helping business owners too, I really want to say, hey, there's aspects of business that I can assist with besides just the tangibles of, oh, here's some cool stuff for you, the business owner. But you know what? Let's do things for your employees. Let's give them a complimentary financial needs masterclass for your whole company, courtesy of you, the boss. What do you think that's going to do for your company image? What do you think that's going to do for your community impact? What do you think that's going to do for your employees? They're going to love you. That's going to make a big difference in the community you serve. Let's do that, because financial literacy master classes, presentations, all that fun stuff I can do. We can do events like the one me and Nancy are doing. That's going to be awesome. And at the end of the day, it's making a difference. And one of the many reasons why I do what I do.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The crusade of mine. Just to give you a heads up, I do have to run in about 4 minutes, just so you know.
4 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on here.
Pleasure,
awesome.
pleasure. I'm glad. I actually had a little bit of extra time. I had a meeting. I wasn't sure if it was going to go to 11:45 or 12, and I was able to, it went for a little longer than 11:45, but I had a little bit extra time. So I'm like, oh, I'll hop on a little early and say hello. Yeah.
Well, always good.
Yeah, definitely. How things been going on with you? Lots of things going on.
Yeah, it's been busy with all the other podcasts, and with the other events that we're helping with.
Nice.
But the Easy Expo virtual booth event, and with the like holiday event, it's gonna be over Christmas.
Oh, very cool.
That's one, so it's all good.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's I have lots of things I'm working on over the next probably 3 to 6 months. Both in the event space and in just the overall impact space. I have lots of things I'm doing. Pretty excited about them, and I'm really excited for the rest of this year and next year especially. I think there's going to be lots and lots of good things coming up next year that are going to be very exciting, and the whole new year.
Yeah. Yeah, where'd this year go?
Yeah, I know this year flew by. I was a little surprised. I'm like, whoa, it's November. What? Almost bordering on December. It's what happened? It's like when I turned 38, I was like, what happened to 37? I feel like I just turned 37 3 months ago and it was gone. I'm like, oh wow. Yikes. And when I turned 36, I realized I'd graduated my high school half my life ago. That hit me kind of
Oh.
weird. I was like, ah, jeez. I graduated high
Is
school
that weird?
half my life ago. Ugh, that was a
It's a long time ago.
yeah. And I was like, geez, that it just hit me weird. I'm like, whoa, where'd that time go? And yeah, I swear it's just like a few years ago I graduated high school and yada yada yada. I was like, no, that was half your lifetime ago, dude. And I'm like, ah. I tell people this is, it's never too late to try something new. It's never too late to do something different. Most of my 20s I was just kind of finding myself, and don't have comparitis. Don't compare your chapter 2 to somebody's chapter 20. You're writing your own book. You're making your own chapters.
Right.
Do what you want to do. So this is awesome, Emily. Glad to be able to hop on. I'm sure I'll run into you and Kurt again very soon. Seems like we always do. And yeah, looking forward to this event, and hopefully see you guys there.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
you, Rudy.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Great, everybody. So yeah, I was just saying we have a few events coming up in the next month here. The Easy Expo event on December 5th, and the Miracle of a Community That Cares event over Christmas. The 24th through the 26th. And would love everybody to, which is a 37-hour event. Love everybody to join us for either of those things. And the December 5th event is about connected to our Easy Expo event or platform, should say. That is a year-round virtual booth that was created by somebody out in California. They went to the Happy Neighborhood Project, and so you're gonna have it's like having a booth at a conference. However, this is virtual and year-round, only lasting a day or two or however long particular conference lasts. Gonna have videos, your logo, links to website, social media, and so on. Can have announcements, things like that. And for the event, We are going to demo the platform, as well as having several speakers talking about what they're doing. So, and it's from noon to 6 Central on Thursday, December 5th. And I'll have to join us, kind of demo it. If you'd like to have a booth set up, you can set a booth up then as well. And I guess, so just talking about it, can bring it up here, but yeah, I would urge everybody to go to Rudy's event as well. I have the link. Share the link in the thing afterwards. But I am going to share my screen here. The expo, if I can bring it up here. Maybe. Garrett, while you bring the, when I bring this up, do you have anything you have to say at the moment? Are you there?
Yeah, Emily, how you doing?
I was just gonna bring up, I was talking a little bit about December 5th. I was gonna share a screen here of Ability Easy Expo, but there's thing you want to come on camera and talk about, feel free.
Well, what's coming up here? You're talking about Easy
Oh,
Expo.
yeah, yeah, I was just gonna share screen, but here's Santa. Welcome, Santa.
Hello, Miss Emily. How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Nobody else here.
Yeah, we had a few people here. Yeah, we just had Rudy who couldn't stay around very long, but yeah, we had a few people. I don't know where they were enough to. But Curdy, you come on here. Say anything to Santa? But how's life with Santa
Good,
today?
good. Just had a really good meeting with a gentleman that's got some big groups going, and he's got some really interesting ideas.
That's good.
Yep. Been retired for almost 20 years and out of the corporate world, and now he's helping out where he can with people and groups, and he loved we had a great conversation and loved some of my ideas, and he said, let me know how I can help, and I went, cool, just promote me. Yeah.
Yeah, so how's the veterans list and stories and TikTok and things going for everything?
Well, let's start off with started reading stories on Wednesday on the new platform, Be Connected, and
Oh, okay,
had a
awesome.
good group out for that. It wasn't huge, but it was a good group, and there were some kids that were able to ask me some questions. So yeah, that was very interesting and very fun. I'll be doing that again this Wednesday, and we'll see where that's going to go. Signing some more people up to the veteran list on Facebook and more on the website. So it's growing slowly as the word gets out. Like I've told a few people, I'll be really promoting it after the new year to see where we can take it and see how many people we can get signed up to that and see how we can help the veterans. Santa's got lots of in-person stuff booked here for the next month, so won't be doing many Saturdays after next weekend.
As in like pictures with kids
Yeah.
or like what kind
Yeah,
of in-person experience?
yeah, yeah. So it'll be busy. It'll be interesting. Able to generate some cashola, which is always nice. So
Yeah. How's business class?
good. She's up babysitting some grandchildren for 4 or 5 days. So I just got off the phone with her before I got on here with you, and she's doing good. Teenagers, she says, boy,
Oh boy.
teenagers really work your brains and your patience.
Yeah, they can.
So yeah, I'll have to go pick her up on Monday. So I'll have to miss a few meetings that are scheduled for Monday. But it is what it is. And mom and dad were able to go down to Phoenix, fly down to Phoenix to watch the oldest one graduate from motorcycle school. So that was pretty awesome. And he sent grandma a picture 2 weeks ago with a pin. And then he called her and said, Grandma, did you look at the picture I sent you? She said, yeah, I see the pin. What does it mean? He had the highest grades in his class.
Wow,
That's pretty awesome.
that's awesome.
Yep.
Good for him.
So then he is moving out to Oregon with the girlfriend instead of coming back to Minnesota to be around mom and dad. So, of course,
Oh
mom's
boy.
not too thrilled about that one.
Well,
So,
hopefully they'll come visit.
oh yeah, yeah. So what's going on in your world?
Well, yeah, keeping busy with all the podcasts and uh, different things. Um, so how are things going with um Zach's event, the holiday event?
Other than I'm talking to him the other day, it sounds like he's got some things in the group. I haven't had a chance to talk to him since. And that's coming together slowly, and we're gaining some traction on it. I got to do a video for him tonight, so that'll be in the wings amongst getting on TikTok, and I'm gaining traction on TikTok.
Hey, this message goes out.
And I almost hit 78,000. So hopefully we'll hit 78,000 tonight. I'm on a mission to hit 100,000 before Christmas.
Oh boy. Garrett, are you there? Good time.
So one step at a time, one goal at a time.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff, right? Other than that, just meeting with people, chatting with people, sending messages, relaying messages, doing videos. What I've been doing for the last year already.
Yeah. And it's almost Christmas. There's just
31 days.
31 days. Oh well.
31 days. Yep. Holy moly. Gonna be a
Okay.
long day
Garrett,
already. Mr. Kurt
Garrett, are you there?
must be busy.
Multitasking. But just all good. So is the Wednesday thing gonna be like an every week thing now? On the Be
4?
Connected?
Yeah, every Wednesday at 7 till Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes, and my group is growing there slowly, but I'm impressed already how many people are there already. So, like I say, one step at a time, one door opening at a time, and we'll promote it and we'll grow it and we'll have some fun. That's all you can
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
So, got any big
So,
plans?
have you, um, well, just kind of being with, family.
There you go.
They're not huge plans,
You
like,
don't have a big family, Emily?
not a huge family. So nothing big, like not like traveling out somewhere or anything, but
Oh, okay,
just kind of being home with.
there you go. Awesome.
So, yeah, you have any big plans for
We're gonna
Turkey
have a
Day?
whole house full.
Oh boy.
Yep. Probably about 15, I think.
Oh well, that's quite a few.
But the thing is, the son-in-law is a professional chef, so Becky doesn't have to do any of the cooking.
Well, oh boy, I'm sure she's might be happy about that.
Yeah, yeah. So he usually deep fries the turkey out in the driveway.
Oh
So
well,
he's done that for the last couple of years, and man, very, very juicy and tender.
that's good.
Oh,
So you
holy.
had gotten many people to get Santa approved
Not
lately,
as
or
many as I was hoping for, but I managed to get another one yesterday. So,
oh yeah,
it'll keep adding and it'll keep going. And, I can't expect it to, be 500 or 1,000 people overnight. It's going to be a ongoing positive mission, I think. But, I'm starting to, now that I've got my trademark approved, that should help boost some people's confidence in me as well. So, just keep plugging along one at a time. That's all we can do, really.
yeah.
Yeah. So, holy,
Well, it's awesome that I got it trademarked.
sorry.
Yeah, but I'm glad that I got the trademark.
Yeah, because when I
Trademark thing.
filed the paperwork, they said it was going to be 8 to 10 months, um, even before they would even look at it, and they got it done in 6. But when I
Oh well.
explained, when that lady that I worked with, that she helped me, she said, "Well, think about it this way: if Bob is the investigator to approve or disprove. Of course, he does all kinds of investigatings and checks things out. Now he just finishes up a file and he has three big next files in front of him. One's 1,500 pages, one's 2,000 pages, one's 700 pages, and then there's mine that's 3 pages. Which one is he going to try and get done first? To eliminate eliminate the
Right.
numbers, right?" And she said, I'm not saying it could happen, but the reality is, if it was me and if it was most normal people, they would eliminate the 3 page one first versus a 1,500 page. So, I'm
Right.
thinking that is what happened and I got lucky. And so I will be, I'm not complaining. I'll take that one all the way to the bank. So it was nice. So now I just got to get a little circle with a TM on my badge somewhere. So that'll be the next step I get done. So,
Yeah. Yeah, have you heard of how grandbaby's doing? Here's
what?
how your grandbaby is doing?
Doing good. Daughter put some pictures on the line the other day, so that's awesome. Doing good. I said, got all 10 fingers and toes? Yep, that's good.
Right.
Yep. Some people think that's important, and well, you gotta keep moving along.
Yeah.
Other than that,
So, do you wanna, I don't know if remind is the right word. And people how they would, get Santa approved or about what uh, Zach's event is about or anything like that?
oh, well, Zach's event is 37 hours that we're collaborating with, and he's doing majority of the work so far. But he's come up with this great idea. It's going to be 37 hours over the Christmas day and Christmas Eve, all about, because Christmas starts a lot sooner for a lot of other people around the world. So this idea is to celebrate Christmas with, soldiers and military people that are, and EMTs and firefighters and truck drivers that are all forced to work on Christmas Day and they can't be near their family. We're going to give them a public opportunity to share some videos to their families, and I'm going to read some stories to some families. So there's some sponsorship available for that. And he's got some other ideas for, you know, donating books into hospitals, and we're working with another Santa from the UK. So he is an author of some children's books, so he'll be reading some of those. So there's lots of multitude different things going on with that. And, as the word spreads on about that, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a good thing. It's going to open up a lot of eyeballs to a lot of different people. Oh, and Kurt ran away. So,
Awesome. So how does one get Santa approved or how does one get uh Santa like read a story
well,
or anything
Santa
like that to
approved is
them?
a pretty simple process, but I had to you go to my website, you find the link that says Santa approved, and then there's 6 questions on there. Of course, because I wanted to eliminate, the drugs and the alcohol and the cigarettes and the lawyers. We don't want lawyers. So then you fill
Right.
out those questions and you pay the fee. We have another little interview where I record it, and then I officially welcome you to being Santa approved. So it's an interesting little concept that's growing, not by leaps and bounds, but people are liking the idea, and we'll keep building the list slowly and see where it goes. The marketing people are thinking it's an incredible idea, so I've just got to create the right vibe for people and the right positive, what's the word I'm looking for? Value that people are looking for when they're going to pay a subscription.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing that I've got going is the Warriors Beacon of Hope. And that one's another whole different website to help find services for our veterans. I'm very perturbed with when you talk to veterans and they say, "Oh, I'm on the list, and it's going to be 6, 8, 10 months before I can get services." They didn't hesitate to sign on their dotted line. Why do they get treated like second-rate citizens when they come back? Now, I'm not saying the VA is totally not negligent. Some people are happy with the services that they get, and some people are definitely not. So I just going to create a list to give people an alternative choice to for providing ideas to have a choice that the veterans can get services.
Okay, so how does a veteran get their name on this list?
Well, the
Where
veterans
pe-
don't need to be on the list. Companies need to be put on this
Okay, I
list.
mean, yeah, so how does the
Well, they
company get
just
them?
go to the website and it says sign up
Okay.
here, and they'll
Okay.
be taken to a Google form where they can fill out who they are, what they do, what services they provide for veterans. And that one's a whopping $10 a month. So then they fill that form out and pay the fee, and we'll get them on the list. And now I'm generating where this list is going to be proposed. And as it grows, there's going to be different things, like it's broken down statewide. So
Okay.
there's going to be things added to the website. Like someone said, yeah, there needs to be a search engine, and there needs something for the veterans to actually sign up to say they were there, so we can show the businesses how many people, how many veterans are showing up for the site. So, I'm learning as I'm going, and I'm taking suggestions from people to show different ideas. And as the concept builds, we'll take her one step at a time.
Right.
So, and then of course, Santa's stories are starting to generate some interest. I've got to record 2 of them today. I'm excited about that, where Santa reads a story to your family, and it's personalized for your family because your children or your grandchildren's names are actually going to be inputted into the story. So people are
That's
loving
awesome.
that idea because it's creating a wonderful family memory that they'll be able to share with their family and friends for quite a few years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then does the family get a copy of the story
Yeah,
that you read?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I put it up on YouTube, and the video where and they get the only link to it. So it's not out in public, especially when you start talking children and children's names. I don't want, the creeps getting a hold of children and children's names. So I put it on the
Yeah.
platform on a hidden link, so then the families get to share it with whoever they want to.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
So yeah, lots in the pipeline, lots of things happening. And we'll create awareness for different people as they see, and we'll start sharing it around the world to create some more happiness. And a big
Are we getting?
big thanks going out to Mr. Kurt. He's sharing some links when I'm live on TikTok. So he even come and said hi the other night, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
Kurt, are you there to say hi? Or no? I don't know. But anyway, how's uh is the happy birthday
they
thing?
didn't catch on as much as I thought they would. Last year I did
Oh,
more.
okay.
So this year it's I've done a few, but not as many as I thought. I'm not going to get excited about it. People will start seeing it and start realizing what I'm doing, and I just got to start sharing and getting the word out there that I do these different services for families and businesses.
Yeah.
So that's about what I've got going on. So
And then Uh, Here that you are going to be on my friend John Peters's show.
Yes,
Coming
I
up
gotta
real
send him a
soon.
message. I just booked an in-person visit for the time when that ends, so I'm gonna have to change my time with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So can you send him a message? Cause I can send him a message that we need to reschedule.
I can send him a message too if you'd like.
Yeah,
Or remind him or something. Yeah.
you
Oh,
remind me, I
Then
was looking. at
then have him
this.
reach out to you or yeah, or something.
There he is.
But yeah, I guess you're making the rounds, huh?
Well, you know, when
Also to be
happens,
on. Be awesome to have you on.
when someone books you for a home visit or this one's a business visit for 2 hours. And then I went, oh crap, I'm scheduled for John at 4 and this starts at 5. So that's not going to work. So thank you for reminding me.
So is it somebody like out of town or is it
No, this one's actually in town.
in town? Okay. Well, that makes things easier then. If it's right in town then
Yeah.
for travel purposes. But I hope that goes well.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, she didn't even blink at my price. So that was kind of cool because normally I
Oh
don't
wow.
normally I don't get local stuff because I'm quite a bit priced higher than the other guys that are doing it.
Yeah.
So but it'll be fun. They're excited.
That's good.
So other than that, so if I wouldn't have shown up, would you have kept this thing going all by yourself for an hour or 2 hours? Because you said you had someone on earlier on.
Yeah, we had a few people on a little bit ago, like shortly before you came on, so
Yeah,
yeah, we've kept it going for a little while anyway.
I see. That can be a little tough sometimes.
Yeah. But appreciate that you came on.
Yeah, we killed
It's been awesome.
definitely what 40 minutes already almost. I got on here about 20 after I think. So almost half an hour. So thank you for all the stuff that you do. Even
You're
for my
welcome.
stuff and for this stuff and you keep the platform
Yeah, yes. To let everybody know, remind everybody that Santa has a show that he does every first and third Monday
yeah.
of each month. That we'd love to have everybody join us. So I think our next one, so it might be December 2nd. So at 5 o'clock Central. So I'd love to have everybody join us for that. So does anyone want to say a little bit about your show or anything like that?
Well, it hasn't taken off as much as I thought it would be, but we've had some really good meetings and we've had some wonderful conversations, that's for sure. Like a lot, two times ago, we had almost 9 people on there, and we had some great roundtable discussions about not only about Santa and Christmas, but other ideas as well. It was a very positive idea, celebration of sharing great ideas, and that's the power of networking right there, is when you can share different ideas around a round table.
Yeah. Yeah, sharing what's going on and getting networking and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
helping each
absolutely.
other.
So we'll keep it going, and we'll generate some great chats with some different people. So first and third Monday at 5 p.m. Central, right here on this channel, right, Emily, on this channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
First and third Monday. So we call it Networking with Santa, or Santa's VIP. And, reach out, join the conversation, and come and have some fun. We even have some giggles and laughs in there, don't we?
Yep. Joyce, a good to giggle and laugh.
Yeah. So there, I just sent John a message and he seems to be online. So other than that, the videos are getting ordered, and videos are being made.
It's always good.
Fills my day up. And then, of course, I network with quite a few different groups during the week. So my days are pretty packed these days. And then, of course, I'm getting on TikTok 4 nights a week for about 2 hours or 3 hours sometimes a night. I'm going to go on there early tonight and see what kind of characters I can have a chat with tonight. And the cool part, Emily, is over the last couple weeks, there's been a lot of parents coming online and bringing their 2 and 3 and 4 year olds on with them.
Oh,
When I
well,
actually bring
interesting.
them on to chat with them live. So that's pretty cool that, I'm getting mom and dads involved in watching what they're allowing their children to watch and participate in. Because
All
there's
right.
a lot of kids coming on my chat that 8, 9, 10 years old, and yep, you gonna get in trouble for telling me? Nope, I do this all day long. Like, holy moly, they've got no life other than what they're looking at that screen. And that's not a good thing for our world. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, the fact that I want a new computer, I want a new tablet, they want an iPhone 16. It's like, these kids don't even know how to use it. They don't know the value of it. But just get it for me because it's free, right? Santa's bringing it to
Yeah.
me, not. And I tell them, no, I don't bring phones. You got to get them from mom and dad. Well, mom and dad can't afford it. Well, there's a reason why they can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah. Holy moly. I mean, I had one kid last night. I want an iPhone 16. I want a new tablet. I want a new PC, and I want what are the headsets that they put on now?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I can say that was. I think I know what you mean though.
Is it Oculus? That's
Something
one
along those
name.
lines, I think. Yeah.
That's one of the names for them. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's almost $10,000 right there. Boom.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm asking for. Can you bring it to me? Get a grip, kid. Yeah. A lot of people are going to go broke if they have to bring you those every year. Oh, I dropped
Right.
it and broke down, a big deal. You know, I mean, we were all young at one time, but my Tonka truck, when I dropped it and broke it, was only $10. What these kids are asking for is tens of thousands.
Right. Yeah. So it costed a lot more than what things used to.
Oh yeah, holy moly. Crazy, crazy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, young lady. I'm going to jump out on you here a little bit early, but we had a good conversation and hopefully we were able to, you know, if some people watch the replay or hear this, maybe they'll get a hold of you or get a hold of me and we'll be able to stir up some kind of conversation.
Great.
So,
Sounds good. Thank you, Sam.
all right. Thanks, Emily. Later, Kurt, if you're listening.
All right, everybody. I think we are getting close to the end of the show here. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. Santa and Rudy and Marianne, Dr. Ward, and yeah, we are here every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central. And I'd love to have all of you join us. Whenever your schedule allows, time between 1 and 3 Central. And to check out all of our social media of LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And to like, share, subscribe, comment, so on. And so I'd like to encourage everybody to check out other organizations that we are working with, such as J and the Disability Channel, Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Lawrence Wingate of Wednesday Studios, Earl Williams of the Midwest Plants and Podcast, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, and all of the great work that they're doing. And there's everybody to join us on our other shows as well, but as part of the network. There's this show, PDH Mission Monday with Project I Heard, the Ask Me Bridge Show, World of Pets, Mastery of Connections, WDMK Now, GDC Today Show, Revolutionizing Marketing, South City Marketing in May, the Blue Collar Crypto Show, World of Nutrition, the Listen Program, and so on. So I'd like to see you on any of our shows as well. Or check out any of them. Or on any of their events like the Easy Expo event on December 5th, or the Miracle of a Community That Cares over Christmas and things like that. So I guess until next time, I hope everybody has a safe and productive week and to stay happy.
And hold on, Emily, you're not ending it there, are you?
What do you got, Kurt?
I got 5 more minutes of production time. That's what I got. What do you got?
I have about like 2 minutes. Do you have anything else at the moment?
What's going on in 2 minutes?
I think I might have a meeting about conference.
You might, so why don't we cover it live and let's cover the, the potential here. Let's work on verification and transfer off when you have verification if you got your meeting or not.
So what I was referring to was the Integral Conference, which I'm on the planning committee for. It's a yearly conference, usually in the fall, like October, November, end of October, early November. Then, oops, is hosted by the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin. And it is a conference about kind of bringing together the disability channel, or not the disability channel, the disability community, and the non-disability community together, to be able to kind of work together and so on. Well, here is Miss Barbara. Hi, Barbara. You're there. It is.
Yeah, now I'm unmuted. It's really good to see you. I'm so sorry about the time. I was just cleaning the kitchen, taking I don't know. And all this time went by.
No worries. We're glad you're here.
Mhm.
Did you anything you like to? How's everything going? Did you have lately? Did you have anything you wanted to let us know about or anything like that?
Yeah. And I gotta tell you that I just spent 3 weeks with my grandchildren, and I'm possibly going back the first week of December, and the next 2 weeks I'm supposed to do a closing on this house, selling this house, without knowing where we're going. That's too crazy, but we're doing it that way. And what I want to share with people is I'm realizing, because I saw it with my daughter when she was like overwhelmed. They talk about, like, in the military, this thing is when you see your friend, your buddy, take on this fey expression, and it's like, they're just killing the enemy, and they're not there. Their eyes are just, it's like nobody's behind the eyes that are doing this killing. And I think that if we start like not being afraid to connect, trying to understand what that is and trying to connect that with other violent problems in the world, like between mothers and children, husbands and wives, where you have that kind of disconnect. You're disconnected from what's beautiful in life. And that I kind of hope to go on with my education so that I can try to do research and put these understandings together, where they're coming from different places. Well, this is a soldier coming out of war. Well, this is a young mother who just had 3 children in a row. And, trying to like keep control and this amazing movie called The Reader, which is a true story about the woman in Germany that let people burn in a building when she had a key and she could have let them out, and what was going on with her at that time. And I'm excited because I see where these problems come together, and there seems to be some solutions to it. Actually, medical solutions there are, and of course, I prefer community solutions. Where people have people around them that care, that see what's happening, because a lot of people don't want to see things that are upsetting or scary. To choose like not to see it. My girlfriend said people have like virgin eyes and ears, like, oh, I never heard that. I never saw that. Even though that they did, they were there when, when that thing happened. So I'm kind of, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. This is like, it's a good time to rest. I think between 3 and 4. I heard some psychologists say that's when you should see a happy rom-com, a happy movie with your family, a Disney movie, something, for the whole family to get together and just be able to relax like that at this time in the day would be smart. There might be something to that. I don't know. Do you watch yourself like, when you get hungry or when you get tired during the day? Are you able to, you're doing such good work that you don't even have to deal with those feelings, until it's time to go to sleep or until it's time to eat, because you're so involved in the good work that you're doing.
Um, yeah, sorry, keep track, but Kurt, are you there?
You are there, Emily. Yes, I'm here. What's going on, Emily?
I need to go. Okay, and take
You
over,
need to
Dr. Barber,
go.
please. Yes,
What's going on?
conference, Kurt. I told you that.
Well, you said it might be going on. So
Well, it is now, so I have to go.
oh boy. All right, there you go, Barbara. But Barbara, in terms of answering your question, yeah, I mean the day does get carried away for me because it sounded like you're speaking to being tired, hungry, and doing work and having these swings throughout the day from doing the work, I believe you're saying. So yeah, I know I experienced that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to, have the best energy. And I know I was talking to Emily last time about this time, about figuring out how to like come and visit. But I was trying to tell her, I wanted to tell her that I have to finish the closing of this house first, and possibly the first week of December, be by my daughter's side when she's going to be alone with these little kids. And but I really want to be working on this documentary and traveling, but I have to push it into the future a little bit because I have to like be realistic and take care of responsibilities I have here, with renting this condo and selling this building. No, I'm sorry. I'm confusing you because I'm tired and I feel like I'm confusing you, but I just want it's my son. I just want Emily, to know that that I'm still wanting to do that, and I'm so sorry that I'm so late to the show, and I'm late to trying to communicate with her that what I was saying last time, and then the show ended, and then we said we'll finish it up next time. And I don't know if she's sad because I didn't even start talking about that yet.
Well, I mean, this is a development before even any of that came up from the last time. I just look at it, we're flowing together, Barbara, from, 4 years of doing this World of Ability production. And so, timing, can have its, turns, and, it can happen differently than we expect. And I just feel just being okay with that can really be powerful. So, with Emily just told us she hopped into a integral adult autism conference meeting.
Oh,
So she shifted into that meeting, and so that's where I kind of came in here, because she was kind of letting this go, and she's over with the other group and trying to pay attention to stuff from the conference that they had at the beginning of the month. But I mean, in terms of whatever you want to talk about while I'm on with you, you're free to talk about whatever you want to. And if you want to do it again with Emily, or just wait for Emily for yet next time, whatever's best for you, Barbara. We're all good.
no, I was just worried that she was leaving because I disappointed her.
No, it's just that she's been working on this show for a couple hours already, and she had on her schedule that meeting with the event, and they're starting to look ahead to next year already. And so she just didn't want to miss.
Yeah, that's important to her. That's great. I look forward to being able to help officiate at a rainbow gathering sometime in the future.
Say, if there's anything you want to cover now while you're on with me, I'm open to that. And anything that you're thinking at this spurred with Emily, and you want to wait till Emily's available again next weekend, we're not going away, so we've got you surrounded, Barbara, get you one way or another.
Yay. Somebody told me that my memoirs should be called a moving target. I don't know. I thought that was funny because right now I was hoping that I'd be able to like live in one of these homes and rent out the other, and right now it almost seems like if I don't get strong or much stronger than I am now in the next few weeks and try to get some legal help, I might be like losing all this fortune that today I still have. But it's and to help my children, and I think that's the most important thing. Some people say, oh, you keep them babies if you are helping them, but I don't feel that. I feel as much as we can help each other, the better, right? Because it is all about friendship. I believe that.
There's less that they can do for you because you already pegged yourself on, where it looks like the outcome would go legally if that's
Mhm.
part of your situation. So,
Mhm.
yeah, attorneys tend to say, if something happens, call me right away. That
Mhm.
tends to be what they say. So, but other than that, I mean, in terms of when you say strong, sounds like strong will you're talking about, right? You're not talking physically strong. You're talking
Yeah,
have,
well, they go in my life, in my body, they go together. Like if I'm like challenged or afraid of something, then I'll get really physically weak, like going to this woman's study group today and needing to confront this woman I was doing business with, right? And the next thing, I'm so weak. I'm having trouble like opening doors and walking upstairs and things. And I just have to laugh because I know that part of that weakness was coming from my fear of this confrontation, that I was determined to be there and be the Buddha, the one that has compassion and confidence and courage and really wants to see everybody happy and healthy. And that was the study today, was talking about the importance of cultivating that ideology more in the world around us, especially with younger people, to share this is what we believe and what we're doing and working towards the future. I'm believing that, we don't need to be begging God. We don't need to be taking down the government or blaming our parents. Here's where we need to like really look at cause and effect and see why we're where we are and what each one of us can do individually to help the world become a more joyful, peaceful, healing, playful place, where there's a lot to learn. And I know you've definitely been doing a lot towards making that a reality for people. But this is an idea right now in 193 countries. I know young people around the world that are trying to say all children are, so precious, so valuable, and deserve to be secured and loved and, feeling like part of a community, a loving community. And as and the words are really nice. That's what we were talking about today. The words are beautiful, but what kind of action will it take? How much like strength will it take to turn love into an action, to a verb, right? And I see that in my life. I see a friend of mine got to go to the organic farms west in where I am in Florida and get all this amazing fruit that a lot of people haven't even heard of, like longings and passion fruit and chirimoya. And I don't know if you've heard of all the fruit that I'm talking about. There's so much, and that benefits human beings. It gives us all kinds of vitamins that we need. And she went and brought that to me today, and it was just thinking this is really love in action. And when you see somebody fall out of that state of consciousness, it feels really good to be caring about other people. Yeah, it's something that if we can relate that what seems like lack of really lack of life that person's experiencing at that time, and really start understanding it and knowing it's not just people in war. My heart breaks to know that all these beautiful young people who are soldiers in Israel are coming home and committing suicide. I don't know if you heard that, but I was told that that's what's happening there now too. And how, we need to not be afraid to look at all the aspects of what war is, and right, and what depression is, and what it takes to look at your community and see what's needed, and then help bring it about by being tenacious in our efforts to create value where we are, in value being, and people being able to laugh and smile and work together and express gratitude, express appreciation in different ways that we can. And it just seems, so here was a room full of women, and we were studying how this one person could take this concept of creating world peace by having individuals take total responsibility, and then having that spread to 193 countries is pretty amazing, right? But as we learn that, like when people are mentally ill, there's symptoms like what people have, the measles or the mumps and all, and you go, oh, this is what is happening here, and what we can do to change it. And yeah, the postpartum depression that women have, and what men go through, and women when they're in war, and how we can be more community and be there for each other. And this was a wonderful discussion meeting because we all were feeling good about ourselves and what we were saying and what we were reading and what happened in the past, and making commitment to put out more effort than we've ever put out. So I had the great fortune of being there. And I had an opportunity again to go to the ocean this morning. And that's always amazing. You could jump in the ocean and instantly, seems like any negativity, anger, any feelings like that are just like washed away, so quickly. I experienced that, and my friend Goddess does, and I think that's why the baptism, if you had an experience, you can have experiences with water where you feel like, whoa, I was just so cleaned up. I don't know if I'm relating to you though. I don't know if I'm making sense in what I'm trying to say, but I think dialogue, and I was told dialogue is what's really needed at this point in time. We had the Industrial Revolution and different, revolutions, evolutions like that. And now it's in our ability to dialogue with each other, as difficult sometimes as it could seem, right? When we're talking family members or, people with different religious or political beliefs. And I wonder, I got in trouble before trying to share that when I met Trump, like 20 years ago, the person I met, people were asking him if he would be president. He was pretty amazing. He was the keynote speaker in this 3-day convention that was happening where everyone's saying, come flip houses with me, with our group, you'll make so much money. And then he was like the keynote speaker. When he went up to speak, he said, I want you to know, if you don't have money you can lose, then don't do this, because you can get really hurt trying to do this. And I thought, man, they're paying him to be the keynote speaker, and he just got up and expressed that bit of possible reality, not everyone else saying, "Oh, you're going to be a winner," and come do this thing. And then he was talking about Paris Hilton being a really sensitive, caring person, intelligent person. And that was after the sex video came out. And he thought, as I did, that she was trying to equal the playing field for women. And so the person that I met was the same one, my friend Jamie, who owns hotels. And so she met him in that way. It was something for hotel owners getting together. And she said she was so impressed that he knew all his workers, names and what was going on with their families and the names of their children and caring about how their kids were. And, so I got in trouble by sharing that experience that I had and that my friend had. The people that just wanted to hold on to their anger and their fear. I thought, I'm going to be appreciated because I'm going to help alleviate fear and anger, But that was interesting. And in this show here, I thought I was talking to one of the Proud Boys, and this young man. And this was when we were doing the things for veterans. And I got to talk to one young gentleman who said that the first time he ever felt clean was when he put on a military uniform. It was the first time he ever felt like he was presentable. And, and when you hear someone saying to these kids, I love you, and you think, wow, that's a strange thing for, some older man to say to these younger, tough guys. But I was glad that this boy was getting to hear that and possibly feel it. And my son-in-law, my daughter's baby's father, he we have an ongoing dialogue that gives me more hope in the world, that people can be really compassionate when compassion is needed. And I know I'm probably like seeming off the track here, but yeah, I got to see the power of dialogue. And there was a Christmas store, and he wanted me to come into the Christmas store. I was in the car typing on my phone, and he wanted me to come in because he wanted me to have the feeling of Christmas. And because when he was a little boy, his mother would always take him to stores like this, and they'd walk around and they'd look at all the beautiful crystal and all the things that people want to buy at Christmas time. And it was a beautiful memory for him. And I thought, oh, he doesn't realize though that I don't have the background that he had, so I'm not going to have the same experience. Like another friend wants to take me to a Brazilian church because that was her highlight when she was a small child, and she wanted me to have those feelings. And I thought, well, that's nice, but I don't have the background to have the feelings. And then this woman bumps into my walker, and she says, you just felt such sincerity from her, such honesty. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like she just understood that I'd been hurt. I was like struggling to recover. And, I felt her love. Usually people go, excuse me or something. You don't really feel that they're feeling you. And I started crying. I went, hey, I got it. I got to feel some of the spirit that you wanted me to feel, that you feel coming into stores like this. And that was the idea of us sharing from our different cultures, to enrich each other's lives, to help life become happier and healthier by being able to share. You still there?
Yep, I'm still here. This is great, Barbara. That was quite a share. And you got me thinking about, how I started the day today. So, Barbara, on Tuesdays through Saturdays at 8 a.m. in the morning, there's a gentleman by the name of Stan Anderson, and he runs a motivation readers mastermind network. And right now we're going through the book Law of Success by Napoleon Hill, Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. And
Uh-huh.
and so we're at the beginnings of it. So we're at a point where Napoleon Hill dove into, like, there was an excerpt of the reading today that brought us in to talk about harmony.
Mhm.
And, so that got me reflecting on something I'm doing on an aside. I'm doing what is People for a New America.
Mhm.
And so with People for a New America, they go by the mantra, one mission, heal our nation. And what we do is we organize, unity, peace, and freedom music festivals.
Mhm.
And, so with the music festival thing and musicians, and we're talking in this readers group, about, harmony. I thought how interesting it is. And we're even talking about, how peace and harmony kind of have, an interplay together. And so so I'm part of the motivation for People for New America is to look at, like you said, you got in trouble. So we're looking at, you know, the opportunity of growth and healing our nation has, in large part from the political front. That if you look at the last decade of our politics and, whether that's just adding on to it and it's the camel that, breaks the camel's back, the straw that breaks the camel's back or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, their motivation is to take this movement. So basically, we're on the birth of a movement, that the train has left the station, we're moving, we're
Mhm.
going, and this is happening. And so the motivation is to spur, some energy that can maybe draw people together, akin to what you're talking about, dialogue, having discussions. And, you mentioned a little bit about fear, that, whether it's
Mhm.
confronting or whatever it is. I've been in conversations where I talk about how everybody on the planet, you know, ought to be given a chance by and large to be equally yoked. And so that's a little bit of my narrative, my message is this is something that I've had to learn across the last 5 decades of my life is,
Mhm.
in personal improvement, sometimes we get caught up in our own personal improvement that we lose the, sharing a frequency with another person.
Mhm.
Yesterday morning, I was on a program that we do Monday through Friday. It's called the Daily Huddle. And
Mhm.
this gentleman, Sorel Katan, he does this, he did this exercise with me, and to me, it was basically active listening, but with a very specific practice of it to me. But
Mhm.
basically, the experience was he just told me to say something of myself. And I talked about, that I appreciate being on stages, I appreciate attention and, the bandwidth people give me and the listening people do for me and the opportunity to listen to others and so on and so forth. And then he interrupted me because with what he was trying to do, he was trying to resemble for me again. This is just coming from my own personal journey. I was an EMT for 10 years pre-hospital care, and the fire departments taught us, how to do what we call radio modeling. And so the idea is that when we're using the communication system with the fire department and able to communicate with 911 and all that and medical control to receive a message and then model that message back so that as we're listening to their message, we're summarizing it or we're bringing it back in something really quick that verifies for the other person that the communication did come through properly and that we understood properly, because if there's a correction that needs to be made, radio modeling can spur that if we as an EMT say something and then they need to correct us, that everything is designed for in other circles I would call quality control, quality assurance.
Uh-huh.
So again, in the last month, I've been in a lot of conversations where it's about energy. We're all neutrons, protons, electrons, and atoms and cells. And, so the whole expression of our body starts from, how things are going in our atoms with our neutrons, protons, and electrons. So when you say like you go to the ocean, that's one of the benefits of your retreats and therapeutic activity there of going to the ocean is that creates a calibrating for your energy that benefits you right down to the atomic level of your being. And so that's when we're with other people, like if there's a potential situation that somebody's in a different position from that and their energy is different from it because of their responsibilities and where they're putting their energy. And then you come in with, on your role and your perspective and where your energy needs to be for that. That's what two people are journeying to do, is to figure out with this combined energy, what's going to come from that combined energy and how the two people do that, will dictate. It's almost like saying it's a closed system, that there's going to be an exchange one way or another, and it can create immense attraction or it can create immense, repulsion or somewhere in between. So when two people get together, all of that is possible, in that situation. And the anxiety of fear and those emotions and those barriers and those mental blocks, to me, we're limited by our own thoughts. And again, conversations the last month, I'm verbalizing, inconsistency with other people. I mean, I'm building off of what other people are bringing into these conversations. And it's like you hear the spirit, mind, and body thing. It might be, our soul, some this space of how we're going to shape our own behavior. And you're wrestling because you're getting different signals within your system, which is your own existence. And, I'm sensing that you're finding a little bit of a, direction towards balancing because of your practices, like going to the ocean and getting rested and keeping busy with other things to distract you. That's what it's all about. But I found myself in recent days in this position where, people are really anchoring in for me that when you have a situation and we react, we can control how we react. So like, for example, earlier today, I was on a phone call with another friend from Florida, and he and I were talking and the doorbell rings, and I kind of see out my window that there's at least a couple people out there, and it ended up being just a couple people, but they rang the doorbell and I'm on the phone. So I'm listening to the gentleman, my friend in Florida, While I'm opening up the door and I have my phone on mute and I'm telling the two out the door I'm on the phone, and I just leave the door open. And when I went back to the door, they were still there, so they chose to wait. And they might have heard me because with the door open, we don't have our glass door up yet, so it's just a screen door yet. We got to switch that. But they probably heard me kind of getting into goodbyes with my friend, and then we're gonna revisit another time to pick up our conversation. But they're coming to my door to talk to me about something, and it ended up being they do roofing service, but I didn't know that, but I could tell they're kind of in this, ready to share what they offer, whatever it was. I didn't know before I gave them the time of day. And they said they were talking about doing a survey, or doing an assessment, taking a look and seeing if there's anything with what they do that, that they could point some things out potentially and whatever. And I said, well, can I make a counter offer? And they looked at me and they're like, sure. And I said, well, the thing I'm looking at, because this happens, not that often, but it happens enough that there's some pattern that these people come to share their offerings right to your door, which is great. I don't mind that. But I'm just telling the guy that, obviously this is part of your business plan to go knocking on doors. And I'm like, maybe I could help you guys take a look at marketing to make sure that you're as effective as possible, as you're going out there to spend your time knocking on some doors. I don't see any way to get away from that, but there's probably ways that you guys could take your efforts and put in some other elements of strategy and communications and partnering with people and looking at your marketplace a little differently, again, that you might be more effective. Because I'm like, you maybe have time in a day that you end up knocking on 100 doors. And then maybe in that day, you got 5 accounts. And
Yeah, it does seem to work like that sometimes, doesn't it? When you're making an effort to make the world better, you get these rewards that pop up and encourage you to keep going.
yeah, so in the end, they seemed a little, receptive to that. And then as far as what they're offering, then I got back to their offer and I'm like, yeah, whatever you want to do, take an assessment. They went around, did the thing, and they came back with their tablet and showed me some pictures they were able to take and pointed out some things that I didn't take the care to go look at and point out what they were pointing out to me. So I learned from it. And sure enough, with storm we had back in May, there was some stuff that happened that I never detected, and potentially there's an insurance claim in it. But then at the end, I said, just for fun, I said, I hope I gave you a little break in your day of knocking on doors. And the one guy comes back and he's like, yeah, he's like, it is a little refreshing when people, can just treat you for, what we're trying to do, rather than, whatever. I could kind of tell he was trying to figure out almost like the politically correct way to say what some residents do to them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, sometimes people treat you like you're the messengers of Satan or something, right? And they didn't really agree with that or whatever, but I think they enjoyed my way of, bouncing back to them a little bit. But, and the thing is that, I can be that person too, when I'm in the wrong position, I can just really point out how I receive people in a very misplaced fashion and, and just really, participating with them in a way that they're going a direction that I'm just not going to accept. And I'm just like, please, just please just take this, that I need you to leave, or something like that. But I didn't do that with these guys, but that's something that happens in life. So, so this is all to say that, I think there's a lot of potential with other conflict you have, and with whatever that's doing to you physically. I really think there's this mantra of anything's possible, and sometimes it's empowering to just really see beyond the situation. Like, you kind of say, you know what, we're like victims of circumstance here. and like we're talking, allowing another person to just vent and to just get it all out and to just give them the time to just get to the end, and you just sit there and you wait 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 until they're done talking, until they gesture back to you for your role, which might be just 5 seconds of silence or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of massage this, and then if they interrupt you, you just let them go and go and go. And sometimes people just need to purge that potentially negativity or hostility, or it
Yeah.
might be a misconception of you, a misunderstanding, and you just kind of let them go and let them go, and you just kind of keep your role in kind of peacemaking or trying to search together again in an equally fashioned way, that you know what, you're ready to work together in harmony, in mutual aid, and to work together to figure out the best potential solution, the fullest and most complete solution to whatever is in front, and use your wisdom about the other person's circumstance where they may be reluctant to do something that you find fair. But I think the more people just have it laid out, our understanding of the entirety of the situation, and to say, you know, you see it going a few different ways and you're thinking maybe this way. And if you're more interested in another way, I'm here to just find out what we all may be dealing with here. You know, and sometimes when you just kind of let them get in the driver's seat and you're just there to be a good Samaritan, sometimes things can happen that really surprise you. You know, and to that point about maybe surprising another person, I was in a conversation with somebody earlier this week where it ended up going a few hours. We met for a few hours at a time. We set aside an hour to meet, but then it just opened up so many things. The thing went an extra 2 hours. And at
It's
the end of
great.
3 hours, it's like, all right, it's time to go. And the guy's like, you know what you got me thinking, Kurt? He's like, I'm thinking about how the planet actually has enough food to give everybody the nutrients they need. You know, so the idea of malnutrition is not necessary. You know, and I'm like, there you go. Let's end on that thought. Food for, you know, real food for real mouths, real bodies out there. And
Yes.
let's make that our thing. That I'm like, you and I are going to lock together and we're going to dedicate the rest of our life to make sure, as far as we're concerned, everybody deserves to eat what they need to eat. And that'll be the whole bottom line to everything we do. How about that?
I
And
love that.
we broke on that. He and I are going to live our life that when we're together and our energy is, everybody gets to eat. They get what they need to eat, and end of story. No discussion. Just period. That's just the right thing to do. That's harmony all over the world. And let's make that happen. And we're going to attract that. What do you
Yes.
think, Barbara?
I think that we're developing language. You know, it's as we're dialoguing, as we're communicating with each other. I got to be with a friend when I was just in Tennessee, who's been doing this Buddhist practice as long as I have, over half a century. And we were so excited because we could communicate very freely and really encourage each other so much, and see, you know, so many things that were happening that were good. And like a lot of people don't have these Japanese words like Itai Doshin or Eshofuni. Um, Eshofuni is like if you let yourself get angrier and angrier, you know, and you just it can turn into a real problem, and it will be manifested in your environment. Things in your environment can start breaking down. And so that's the word for that. You know, Eshofuni your environment, but you also can create an environment that, you know, that's beautiful, that attracts butterflies, and that's really nice. And there are a lot of words, Itai Doshin, oneness of mind, you know, in our separate bodies and our separate lives, but
You did just hit your mute button, Barbara.
Yeah. Like what you were saying, how like everyone, deserves to eat. There's as we're opening up to different cultures, different languages, we're being enriched by that, you know? So yeah, that's that's supposedly where we're at right now in a time of dialogue being, what's so important for us to be moving in healthy directions, learning how to dialogue. And I love that I just learned that if you're going to be debating somebody for any reason, what master debaters know is that you start by finding a common ground that you and that other person has. And that, yeah, that for people that win and being able to make their point understood and appreciated by other people. And I thought that was so great. And I know that I love that Ruth Ginsburg, the one who helped, she was a lawyer and she helped change laws to help people who are caretakers of other people and did a lot of good on this planet. And she was told that when you're talking to the people that are persecuting you, if you can get them to laugh, you can say something that makes them laugh. That's so wonderful, because usually people are getting into their defensive modes and to calm down and relate in a way, joyful laughter. And yeah, and she's got to be known the world over, I think, for what a brilliant lawyer she had become. And I think I think we're on the same path about how to dialogue and the friendship that you have with that other person being so meaningful to keep your promises good, right? And to keep that good spirit about who you are and what you're saying is invaluable, right? Being just that sense of friendship and communication gives us a lot of strength, I believe. And then if we go back to that Eshofuni thing, it's like good for the planet. It's good for everybody.
For sure, for sure. So, Barbara, I just want to take a moment to shower you with all the positive energy that I can help shift to your direction. And with all that energy and all that potential, that you have just a tremendous experience of conversion, and that in how you experience service, interdependence, reciprocal exchanges with other people in your life, that it comes together for you in all of the harmony that you ever could expect, and that in your journey of lifelong learning, that you will continue to have all of these joyous experiences of new insights. And as times come where you lean on government, experience our government, our civic spaces, your municipality, your county, your state, as you travel, that all just becomes, such a rewarding experience, that you just crave being able to go on a journey and out and exploring and finding, in this world where the world is your oyster, that you are just finding so many oysters, you can't believe it. And that and that you find yourself such a productive member of society, that you feel ever so
Yes.
proud of yourself. And that, like our friend Mariana Waikiki, who says, go out and play, that we know you to be such a playful spirit, that continues to happen. And that in this way, across all these parts of your life, that you just feel this geyser of youth, this fountain of youth, and that you just know you have so many years to come, that in the end, for me, that I know I'll be right there with you, Barbara, when we're celebrating your 100th birthday.
All
How
right.
would you think about that, Barbara? Let's
Oh,
start
let's do it.
100th birthday.
Yeah, I need that. Need that energy and the idea of celebrating together. That's so crucial for longevity. And the idea, we're gonna make this world a healthier, happier place, and we're gonna do it joyfully. You know, we can we can see all the contradictions in the world around us. We can see all these problems, but we can we can change things and being joyful while we're doing it. Yeah. Like that 100th birthday party.
All right. And speaking of birthday parties, you know what birthday party you need to connect into for next week, right?
Mm, Christmas. That's what you're thinking?
You are there is all of that, so don't feel like anything you're saying now is wrong, but I'm just being a little bit of a gesture here and a jester, and I'm saying you're talking to a guy who's going to have a birthday in 1 week on November 30th. I'm Sagittarius. I'm 52 years old now, Barbara, and I'll be 53 1 week from today, and I hope you connect on the World of Ability podcast, World of Ability, and
Yeah.
with acts of kindness. We're doing this, that we're partnered now with all of Mary Ann's work. She's spent so many hours with us that we're just making
Yeah.
the same thing, World of Ability with acts of kindness. And next week, Saturday, November 30th, we're going to celebrate yours truly in a Special K way. And we'll be bringing out why somebody in my life called me Zeke, and the fact that I've got more nicknames than Nick, so
Uh,
so we're going to be doing all of that 1 week from today, and we're going to be celebrating from this moment all the way through the finish line.
uh,
Midnight, wherever the last play. I'm going to go far enough west that we can keep
uh,
going and looking for places where it's still November 30th to keep the party and my birthday going.
That's great. That's awesome. And 50s. Yeah, I remember being 50. That's such a cute young age. And it's a romantic age in your 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Mhm.
that whole nifty
Yeah.
50 thing, it was brought out to describe our United States of America. But when I turned 50, I felt it was a nifty 50, and now I'm in the nifty 50s. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna keep it going in a real nifty way.
All right. You're doing great. I'm proud of you.
But thank
I
you
love
very
you a
much.
lot. I love you a lot. You have given me so much, You gave me a sense of pride and confidence and being part of, world family and having an ability to help change the world to be a more loving place. And that's so means so much. It's so valuable. And you made my family feel proud. And when I read my daughter's story and I read my dad's children's story, I should do that again, right?
Yeah,
Those are
let's do
excellent.
it again. Yeah, let's keep those
Yeah.
good things going. Yeah, we've got a long
Mhm.
ways to go. We're just getting started, Barbara.
Yeah, I know. We are. Have a wonderful week. Love you a lot. Thank you for being you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, you too. Have a great
Mhm.
week. And like I say, hopefully we'll see you at least in a week, if nothing else comes up before that you exchange with
Mhm.
us on. And we'll see what we can do to keep it a November to remember.
Yes. Yes. And your birthday is what day exactly?
Saturday, November 30th. Yeah.
All right. I'm here. Love you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Love you too, Barbara. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Yes. You too. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it, folks. The bonus hour with yours truly, Special K, and my Special K way. And it seems like this happens in the work that I do. I open up the platform, I open up the bandwidth, and I just take it to as far as people care to take it, and we get on this journey of the 3-hour tour. So yeah, I feel like I'm on Gilligan's Island again, but that's just the way we roll here. You know, if this is something that can go for hours on end, we just keep her going and, you know, keep this at full capacity, you know. So, you know, thinking of, you know, Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, Edwin Edeberry of the Happy Neighborhood Project. He likes to once in a while call me again Captain Kirk, and so, but it's the Scotty thing, you know, where I'm giving it all I've got, Captain. You know, so we're gonna keep going where no man has gone before, whether it's space travel or whatever it is. We're gonna keep doing it because you never know when that person pops up and does something that just really is set apart from whatever anthropologically has ever been found before. So, and as I finish up here, I always like to extend my phone number. Everybody out there, you are welcome to call and text me anytime. 262-372-1754. And a big thanks to Spirit of the Game Foundation for providing the Zoom account that Emily and I have admin rights to, and my wife uses my admin rights, you know, for coming on in here. And I guess just simply my wife, I guess indirectly got admin rights. So we have a few of us here in the team, and there's others in the team that admin the Zoom account, but this is kind of where we're going from. That while there's no Spirit of the Game activities otherwise, we make it that we're doing all this World of Ability podcast and network stuff here, and making sure we just keep spreading about all of the kind-hearted people, do-gooders, and pay it forward centered folks, people in the sharing economy, thank you economy, everything that is good here in the world and in the universe. We want to bring it on in here. And if there's anything that people are dealing with and things that need to be reckoned with, you know, we'll do any reckoning we need to do here. I'm Kurt Roskoff, yours truly, with the World of Ability. Thanks for being here. And don't forget, Saturday, November 30th, 2024, we're going to be celebrating my 53rd birthday. Yee-hee! Let's do it. Bye for now.